from time to time, and I had provided you each with the copies of this, but from time to time the issue of videoing these meetings and making them available has come up often with when people ask for the meetings to be held at different locations, different times, that sort of thing, you know, or to be able to follow along in terms of what is discussed at the meetings. I had Dennis and Danielle and IT pursue a number of quotes, price quotes, to see what it would take to do that for this meeting room, and what they pursued was a very, very simple, straightforward installation, I guess you'd call it, that being just having a camera mounted that would be able to record the meeting, be remotely controlled. I could turn it on and turn it off remotely. It be stored temporarily until IT could then upload it to YouTube in its entirety, and that would then negate the need for us to have long-term storage, you know, to have any kind of server that would store these in perpetuity. They would exist on the internet, on the web, and be available, you know. It's pretty simple. Commissioner Litz, you had asked me yesterday if there was any, and I have 2 quotes. We tried to get 3, that one didn't respond. If the low quote has any experience or has any other installations. I spoke to him yesterday afternoon. What he told me is he doesn't have any to point to that are this small, but he's done much larger. This is just, you know, one camera, wiring it to audio and storing it for upload. What he's done is a lot of facilities and churches where they've needed multiple video runs to different rooms and things like that. So he said this is a pretty small installation as far as he goes. So he's
Any other questions?
So I have the low one. It was from Shank Audio in Myerstown, and that would be a camcorder, remote control, a converter for HDMI to SDI. I'm sure we all know what all this means, right? Mm-hmm. An extended receiver and an extended transmitter, including wires and wiring and connections, and approximately 10 hours labor to do the installation, with a total of $3,095. The other was about $1,000 more. If you're inclined to do that, so be it. If you're not, same. I just pursued this. It's been talked about for actually a couple of years.
Yes. Yep. Any comments?
Sure. I really appreciate that we appear to be moving ahead and that quotes were sought. I do have some concerns, and that is that if we're going to do it, I think that many years have passed since just recording and storing and uploading at a later time. I think live streaming is available. I think if it does go up online, somehow categorizing by topic, marking the tape somehow so people can go right to a topic would be very helpful. I also think that by live streaming would allow Q&A, whether it's tweeting to a reporter or if we have another system that we set up. I think that there are people who are not able physically to come in. Maybe they have children at home. It could be a snow, anything, and that transparency is the ultimate goal. And I think it would be very helpful if we're going to do this to also get a quote on that and then make the comparison before we decide.
I think I have to agree with Commissioner Litz that transparency is the goal, and transparency in any form right now is welcome, because this will at least make available the entire proceedings here, not some edited version that has other goals than just being transparent and allowing folks in the community to have it available. So all of these other toppings that Commissioner Litz refers to, I'm sure can be added at a later time. So I'll make a motion that we secure the cameras by the Shank Company.
Is there a second?
I think that would be yours.
I'll second the motion. I'd only like to add that I think this is a big leap in the right direction. We've had many requests for moving the meetings, as you mentioned, and even from the pipeline awareness folks, groups that want to keep on top of things that we're doing. So I think maybe it'll encourage people to call us more frequently, and that's always a good thing in response to what they've seen or how we voted on something. So I think this is all good, and I agree that I'd like to proceed with the Shank as well. So any other questions or comment before we take a vote? Yes?
Yeah, I do. Now, Jamie, you had said that there was no need for storage because it was going to be stored on the platform that you're going to use it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
This meeting went an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Some meetings go longer. I've been here for 2.5 hours. That much video is a pretty big file.
It'll store to a PC and then be uploaded, and then it doesn't have to be kept then. It's not just the capacity of the camera, it'll be stored on an actual hard drive.
Okay, what is the length of time that YouTube will allow a large piece of video kept up there?
Well, my understanding is if you're a registered user, there are limits to just posting a video. I don't know if it's 10 minutes or it's 10 minutes, I think, that to just post a video as an anonymous, so to speak, user. If you're registered and you provide contact information to the account and so on, that you can post much longer videos. I mean, I've seen them over an hour myself posted. I don't know what the upper limit is, Gordy. I have to rely on the IT folks for that.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that they would give you an open ability to have like maybe 10 or 15 of those stored with them at one
I think
time.
as a registered user, Commissioner Litz is nodding, so I don't know if you know any more about that than I've stated.
When I first started posting, I was limited to 10 minutes. They then increased it to 15, and now they have given me unlimited time. My drawback is, as I expressed before, the reason for the edits and the shorter clips is because it takes a long time for me to upload on a personal server. I mean, not a personal server, but my server is not as fast as perhaps the lightning speed here at the courthouse would be much faster, but I deal with what I can from my facility, and I've invested more than this system is costing in video cameras and SD cards and tapes and that sort of thing, and providing the service that I have provided for many years.
YouTube doesn't limit the upload. I mean, I'm sure our uploads will go faster. We have T1 lines going out of this building, so we're not limited to the ISP, what the ISP allows for upload. So, but I'm not aware of anything, an upper limit at this point.
Yeah, well, my point essentially, and I don't mean per occurrence. What I mean is that if you have a large number of files stored someplace, huge files, and the type of pressure that and traffic that they have on YouTube, eventually it comes to the point where something has to go. And what kind of retention rate are you going to be able to keep with those types of those length of files? That's my only concern.
Yeah.
But we'll have to do based on what's allowable, accessible, and so on. But we still have the minutes and so on of the meetings in the traditional sense, but at least give people an opportunity to. And I think also for workshops, we do frequent workshops, and we'd be able to allow people to participate in those to some extent by watching them whenever they want, 24 hours. They can plug in any time at their convenience, and and this also will not provide or add an undue burden to the overtaxed folks, excuse that expression, in the IT department. But that's another, reason for just the baby steps in this thing and getting it on board and getting this transparency underway.
Yeah, I'm told from Danielle that once they establish that account, it'll just take someone, to start the upload, and there it goes.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
split vote, 2-1, in favor of increasing transparency in the county.
Excuse me, I'd like to respond to that. I believe in increasing transparency in the county, but I think that it's premature because we don't have all the questions answered and we haven't explored the newer technology.
So noted. Anything else? Jamie? Anything else from the Fourth Estate?
What is your target date for first video meeting?
I guess it depends on his schedule. He has, several hours of installation there, but we have 3 weeks between the next meeting. Could